Hi everybody, my name is Rehana Govender and I am the director of a company called Morse Design, and we manufacture products from recycled tire tube. So that's recycled tire tube, and then we also have a business called Mo Love, and we manufacture these hand knitted jerseys from mohair. Okay, so I feel that the challenges that as a South African designer working in the sustainable industry is very difficult, not difficult, but different to what I've just heard you all talking about. But I'm going to tell you my journey and my business journey and where we started and where we are now. So we started firstly, my background is I studied psychology. I didn't complete my degree. Then I did marketing and public relations. I was in the corporate industry for many years, earning lots of money, but very unfulfilled. And I grew up with a mother that was very involved in the struggle, in the political struggle of this country. So I spent a lot of time in the townships, and I think from a very early age I knew that I had a purpose and it wasn't in the corporate world. And so in 2013 actually, I left the corporate, and I wasn't sure where or what my purpose was or where I was going and what I was going to do. And then in 2014 my paths crossed with a designer, and he was a furniture designer, and he had a bag that was manufactured from recycled tire tube. And immediately my marketing and sales head was like, oops, this is something that's, could be really lucrative, because number one, it comes from a landfill. Number two, it's beautiful. I would want to use one. And number three, I think we can create employment. So government will be throwing money at us because we're ticking all the boxes. Wow, I was in for a very unpleasant surprise. So Morse Design formally started in 2015 when we registered the company, and we decided there and then that we were actually going to launch our product and Maison and Object in Paris. So we kind of worked backwards, because most companies first start their businesses, establish themselves, they're around for a while, then they go to do different exhibitions. And we started like, okay, listen, we've got this beautiful product, it ticks all the boxes, we're going overseas, we're going to do it. So knocked on Cedar's door, sorry, you're under 24 months old, you do not qualify for any funding. Knocked on other people's doors for funding, because we've seen everybody else who's not even doing beautiful products getting to go to do all these exhibitions all over the world, and us that's actually, making a difference and making beautiful products, repurposed products. We were just getting doors shut in our face all the time. So I decided, okay, plan B. Sold my vehicle, tapped into my resources, borrowed some money from my mother, and then invested in the product development and the tickets and the exhibition costs, which was very expensive at the time. I didn't have a car after that, but it was cool because I thought, this is my business, I'm passionate about it, we're going to do it. So we went to Maison and Object, and we also had furniture, because my business partner at the time was a very famous furniture designer. So we manufactured lights and ottomans, bags, but the bags were very different to the bags that you see now, because it was very masculine, functional and masculine. Went to Maison and Object. We had such a phenomenal outcome, because people were already conscious with regards to consumerism, they were engaging in the green economy, so it was the right market for our product. And this is also really important, because I learned this also the hard way, is that you need to have the right product for the right audience, otherwise you're going to struggle. You also need to have the right platform in order to get your product out there. So you can have the most beautiful product, but if you don't have the platform to be able to get your product to the right resources or people, or you're really going to struggle. So we went to Maison and Object. We did phenomenally well. We got all our money back. We didn't make a profit, but at the end of the day, we made our money back, which was a relief because it cost quite a bit. And then we had orders, we were busy exporting already. But once that had dried out, because we now needed to go to another exhibition in order to maintain, we obviously didn't have the money, and we were still under 2 years old. So business started dwindling. And then about a year and a half later, my business partner decided that he's going to move back to Germany to be with his husband. And so here I am with this business that I feel so passionate about, with no money. Head design is gone. I'm not the designer. I mean, I have no design background whatsoever. So what am I going to do? And I was like, right, okay. I'm going to rebrand, well, not rebrand, but I'm going to create products that I like, that I would wear, and that would be more aesthetically pleasing to everybody, like a wider audience. So I then started designing bags that were more feminine, had color, added some African fabric to it, and joined programs with the CDI and with Westgrow. And I think that's also really important for up and coming designers to have that platform, because they really, really do help you a lot. And also as a designer, it's so lonely, you know, so you get to meet other designers and you get to do collaborations, which is really important for your brand and your product. Then I joined the CDI, and I was fortunate enough to be able to travel and do the exhibitions, go to Japan, and you know, we did Decorex and SACDA and all of these exhibitions that were great for the business. So the business was starting to slowly grow again. Then COVID happened. Everything just stopped. No income, business tanked. Had a really, really difficult time. With that being said though, I feel that COVID for our business was really a blessing in disguise, because I really had to dig deep and think like, okay, where am I going to with this brand? Like, what are we doing? You know, we're ticking all the boxes, we're doing the right things, but we're not getting enough leverage, we're not getting like enough marketing. And also, I think we need to introduce another product, because not everybody's into sustainable bags. Nobody wants, not nobody, but not a lot of people are into the green economy, and especially here in South Africa, it was a huge challenge. People would rather buy a fake Louis Vuitton bag than buy a product that was made from recycled tire tube, or a repurposed product, or, you know, support a brand with purpose. And during COVID, I was like, okay, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. And backtracking, in 2013, when I resigned from the corporate industry, I took some money and I went traveling for a little bit. And a friend that I was visiting in Germany was knitting a jersey. And she knitted me a jersey, and we created a pattern, because I was like, I want something with like bellow sleeves, I want it to be colorful, like in winter, I don't want to be dull and gray and glam, I want to, you know, but this was for my personal, not knowing that what we were doing 9 or 8 years prior was going to affect my life and my business 10 years down the line. So she made me a jersey, and I was like, yeah, give me the pattern, you know, because then I can go to South Africa and I can have more jerseys made for myself. And then when I wore my jersey, everybody was like, oh, where did you get your jersey from? Where did you get your jersey from? But I never paid much attention to it, because I am making recycled tire tube bags. I mean, the jerseys are not on my agenda at all. And then during COVID, I was like, listen, I actually need to introduce something that's going to be appealing to everybody, you know, not just these recycled tire tube bags. Even though I think these bags are beautiful and that everybody should buy one, not everybody feels the same way. And then I was going for a walk on the watershed just as COVID had, I think it was just the first opening of lockdown. And I was walking at not the watershed, but on the pier, and I needed to go to the toilet. So I popped into the watershed, and it was like, they had just opened on that day, and I didn't know that, but I needed the loo. So I went in and I was like, oh my God, you guys are open, that's amazing. But it was a very somber, glum mood in the watershed, because a lot of businesses had closed down. A lot of businesses didn't survive COVID, and they had to, there were a lot of empty spaces due to that, which was very sad. But it also gave opportunities to other businesses. So I was walking through the watershed thinking, oh my goodness, this is so sad. Like, my heart was really bleeding for all these other, fellow entrepreneurs that just couldn't make it. And then I bumped into Gustav, I don't know if any of you know Gustav or are familiar with the Watershed, but he basically he deals with the rentals. And I said, listen, I'd like a space here, is one available? And he was like, yes, cool, just send in your application form, blah, blah, blah. Within a few days, weeks, after being on the waiting list for a very long time, I got a space at the Watershed. And I thought, okay, great. So I'm taking my bags into the Watershed. I'm going to reproduce this jersey, and I'm going to see how things go. So the first few months, I was just concentrating on the bags and my store at my Watershed, because I was very excited because now I have an outlet to sell my product, which is really important as well as a designer, Things were super slow, dead. People were walking around, but nobody wanted to buy products. Nobody wanted to buy anything, and especially not these bags, because people were penny wise. They've just come out of lockdown, and everybody was only buying necessities. So bags and fashion and all of that was not on anyone's agenda. But slowly things started picking up. And in the meantime, I was now into product development with these jerseys, and I needed to find knitters. And I think pre-COVID, I read an article that Jackie May, I can't remember the designer, but there was a designer that was working with an old age home in Durban, and she was making mohair jerseys. And I was like, that would be such a fantastic thing, because how gratifying wouldn't it be being able to make these beautiful jerseys and support the old ladies in the old age home, giving them a purpose and being able to pay them. No, it didn't work. I was working with a group of old ladies in Mitchell's Plain, and let me tell you something. I'm surprised I still have hair left, because I was going back and forth to Mitchell's Plain every day, trying to get my product out and get the product ready. And it took me, and I'm not even speaking a word of a lie, about 2.5 months to get one jersey from one lady. And I was like, yeah, how am I going to start a business like this? I'm not going to be able to do, it's going to take like 12 months to get 6 jerseys. This is not going to work. Back to the drawing board. Okay, so now phoning like knitting schools, knitting companies. Do you have any knitters available? Do you know of anybody that's looking for work? Because to find knitters was really hard. It was quite an arduous undertaking. And then eventually I got in touch with one knitter, and the two of us used to meet like on the corners. I would give her the wool, she would give me my jersey. I would go back and then look at it and go, oh shucks, this is wrong, that is wrong. Call her back and say, please can we meet again? Can you come back? And she'd be like, no, I'm in the taxi, I'll have to meet you tomorrow. And it went like that for a very long time, until eventually I managed to get a team of knitters to knit these jerseys that I've been in the waterfront, and it's been a great success because people love it. It's a natural fiber. Mohair is one of the most sustainable wools in the world. It's sourced locally. It's ethically. The goats, the Angora goats, are ethically grown and fed and sheared, yeah, so now I have Morsh Design, which is the holding company, and then we have Mo Love, which is the jerseys, and we operate from the waterfront. I work with a group of men from Malawi, and they make my recycled tire tube bags. And I also work with women in the townships, in the Delft townships. So she does all my machine stitch bags, and her name is Josie. And then I have a group of between 7 and 10 knitters that work with us at our studio. They come in twice a week, and they make all our handmade products. So it's so gratifying knowing that they can still be mommies and go-go's and do what they do, because they only come to work twice a week. The rest of the time they're knitting at home, and then they're able to take care of their families. They're getting paid a very above average decent wage, and we're still managing to concentrate on the triple bottom line that makes a sustainable business successful, which is people, planet, and profit. And what I can't remember her name. What Celinda was saying is that you cannot operate a sustainable business without all those 3 components, in my opinion. You need to have a business that is concentrating on people and planet, but you also need to be making a profit. And you cannot, like in the past, only concentrating on making a profit without concentrating on the people and planet. I think all those three components in a sustainable business are really, really in B. And yeah, that's who we are, Morse Design. Please follow us on Instagram. And I brought you all a little gift. So it's a recycled tote bag that we use as packaging for our mohair jerseys. So we've taken old umbrellas and we've converted them into packaging, so it's still sustainable. So we've put a lot of thought and process goes into what we do and how we do it and how we're maintaining the sustainable element of our brand, even down to the packaging. So that's it. I was so nervous because I was like, I don't know if, I mean, everybody else has got such exciting things to talk about, and I'm just here discussing our journey. But if there's any questions or anything that you need.
How long did it take you before you broke even? I mean, because that's, I suppose.
Sure. That, I think, I think before COVID, when I was doing all the exhibitions and attending all the various markets, etc., we were starting to grow. But then COVID happened and it just shut our business down. So I would say about 5 years. Wow. 5 years. So it's a lot of tenacity and a lot of patience and endurance that one needs. And I think that's more or less how long it takes for a business before you become successful.
So is that another thing? So basically what helped you was diversifying your product?
I had to. I definitely had to.
And your bags, are they still your tire bags? I mean, is that still core part of the business?
Yes, very, very much will never not be. I mean, that's what we started with. And I grappled as a designer, self-taught designer. How am I going to introduce these beautiful mohair, luxurious jerseys with like my recycled tire tube, because it's a bit, they don't really. And I was like, you know what? They're both beautiful. They're both sustainable. We creating jobs. We using sustainable fabrics. It may be polar opposites, but it's ticking the boxes, and I'm just going to take that leap of faith and do it. And I did it, and it has been a great success, and it really has changed our business.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have a question or a reflection that they want to share with Rihanna? Okay, I'll start here.
I don't think the mic is working, by the way, so just speak up.
Mine is not working, hey?
The mic
no, yours is
fine.
It's on?
Yeah, it's for the camera.
Oh, yeah. For the? Okay. For Zoom. When the Zoom, I think it's linked up to Zoom.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, do you feel like the bags have picked up since?
I feel that the bags have definitely picked up, because I feel that the mindset of people around conscious consumerism has changed. And studies have actually shown that 73% of the global consumer is willing to buy product that is going to have a positive impact on the environment. So people are willing to actually change their mindsets, or they want to change their mindsets to become more conscious with regards to the product that they're buying. Who made my clothes? Where is it made? Is it ethically sourced? And based on all of that, and I think the exposure that sustainable brands is getting, it's definitely had a positive impact on the green economy.
Yeah, because I was asking, because I wanted to know how your experience was, because you mentioned at the beginning the bags maybe weren't as well received.
No, I mean, this was 2015, eh?
Yeah, at the beginning.
Yes.
So how was your experience of that maybe not being as well received, and then pushing through that to a point where you feel like it is better received?
I feel that the world is changing, and I think that people's mindsets are changing. And I think, with regards to sustainability, people, and especially COVID definitely changed people's mindsets, eh? It's had a positive impact on sustainability, because people don't they don't want fast fashion. They want slow fashion brands. They appreciate handmade product. They understand that somebody actually sat and made this. You know, there's a lot more appreciation for handmade sustainable products, and that is definitely impacted on the green economy. And not just with my product, but I think across. Yes?
We'll go around the room.
It's not a question per se, but I just want to applaud Mom for being your support system, because I understand that
Yes.
in every business you need to have a support system behind you.
100%. Yes, 100%. I don't think that anybody can actually do this on their own. Without a support structure and system, it will be super difficult, because there are so many trials and tribulations daily that one needs to endure and encounter, and so many obstacles. It takes a while and a good support structure to get you to have a successful business.
Also, I think, for me, it's very important to also remember that as much as there's the support, there's also the challenges as a woman of color. With the, you don't get support from the banks. It's still very much controlled, It's still very white, the fashion industry, and that needs to change. So the status quo needs to change,
Yeah.
But as far as giving support, I think she's driving the vehicle, herself. It's just good to know that it is that, just to sometimes to cry, just to share the success, and then also just ideas about where she's going. So in a way, she's very much on her own. Yeah.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There's so much more that I wanted to discuss, but I'm pressed for time, so I'm just condensed it.
Great. I just have one question. How are you utilizing social media and the internet to push your business if you're using it?
Listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I do everything on my own, right? And even my social media, my Instagram. But Instagram has been a fantastic platform for my business, because I'm really able to get my product out to people all over. And without it, people wouldn't even know that we existed, honestly. So I use Instagram a lot to promote my products and my business. And I would recommend that anyone and everyone does it if possible, because it really is a fantastic marketing tool, especially for small businesses. I mean, I can see what a man in Morocco in the desert is doing with handmade shoes, So yeah, I would definitely recommend you use it, utilize it, max it out, because it works.
I just wanted to ask, if you could tell us more about your relationship with the CDI and how that helped you with developing the brand.
The CDI,
Does everybody know what the CDI is?
it's a craft design institute in Cape Town, and it helps, but it's actually national, so it helps small businesses get their product market ready, and it helps you with your business 101. And also, once you're on their system, if there are any exhibitions or shows, you basically get told about it. It's been a fantastic, really, for me as a single, one person in my business doing everything on my own. I find that the CDI has been a real pillar in my business, in the developing product, because I sit with some at the beginning. I was part of the next 17. So there's a group of people that they do a program annually where they get entrepreneurs to look at their product, redevelop it, get it market ready, but I was obviously doing shows prior to that, but it just helped me hone in to get my product completely. I would recommend that you do go and join the CDI, because they also have a fantastic database, and they have something called, I can't remember the name of it, but your product gets onto that list, and overseas buyers come, and then they just go to the CDI, they look at that list, and they choose who or what product they like that would be ideal for their shops abroad. So do it.
Okay, thank you for that. And I have another question.
Sure.
Like, you mentioned here, like you should have the right product for your right audience. Do you feel that before you created the jersey, like, did you know who you were making the product for, and did you necessarily know your placements in terms of like the audience, and this was the right product that would attract the people that you have now?
With that being said, I just want to say that I'm at the watershed, right? So my product fits in so well there, because most of the client base that walks past with the foot traffic is international. And with a product like this, mostly people that buy it are international buyers. So I was at the right place to market the right product. Prior to that, I struggled a little bit, and that's why exhibitions and shows abroad were really important for my business and the product that I'm making, because of Europe and America and the rest of the world being very green conscious. It took us a while, but we are definitely getting there. 100%. South Africans' mindsets have changed so much, and all in the right direction. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. If I wasn't at the watershed, I don't know how I would fare, to be honest with you. You know, because my online sales it's not booming yet. I'm trying to get it there, but the watershed for me is a fantastic platform for the product that I have.
Any other questions?
Mine is kind of unrelated, but did you eventually get a car?
Did I eventually get a car? I did. I did eventually get a car, many years later. Yeah. Eventually I did get a car, yeah, thank you. But it took me a while, hey? It took me a long time. But I got a car eventually, yes. Thank you.
I was just thinking like what you were saying about a lot of the people who buy from you are European. It's kind of like the reverse from the previous talk.
Yeah.
That like European people come and dump their stuff here, but then they come and buy a whole bunch of our stuff. So it's just like an interesting crossover.
But also, it's where I am. If I was in Claremont somewhere, I think my clientele would be different.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't be successful. I'm just saying that it would be a different target market. So, yeah, it's twofold. The Europeans, we love to hate them.
We'll take one more.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask, are you guys ever going to expand over?
We'd love to. I mean, that's on our agenda, definitely. And also to do more wholesale. Because right now we're into retail. We'd like to expand in wholesale, because we realize that, you know, you need to sell across the board. So we're just trying to actually currently working on our price points so that we can get more wholesale sales, because the price points are a little bit iffy at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Okay, cool. Thanks for having me. Enjoy your totes and follow us on Instagram, Morse Design.